My name's Alanna Schwartz. I use she, her pronouns, and I am a writer based in Kitchener, and I'm the co-director of a project called Needle Tips, which we are screening for the first time today at the Trans Health Fair at our local library. My co-director on this project, Cassidy Civiero, is one of my closest friends, and we met at a writers' conference, and we formed a quick friendship, bonded around writing for film. And it was during this time that I was going through the decision of whether or not I wanted to freeze embryos with my partner. Although I had been thinking about this procedure for many years, I felt nervous and knew that a big part of doing this was going to be giving myself needles, which as a cancer survivor, I have lots of baggage that comes with that. I leaned on my very small support group and recognized that my dear friend Cassidy gave himself needles every week. And so being able to reach out to him and say, hey, I'm looking for a little help on this was something great. And then we decided, why not make it into a project? So Cassidy and I were really excited to be Balancing Act Level Up partners in 2024. And we were able to use this funding in order to make a project that was really unique to specific circumstances and allowed us to be really nimble, being able to approach our crew and talk to them about the fact that we're working with hormone therapies and we're working with specific timelines. And so being able to provide some compassionate funding in order to make flexible hours the most comfortable as possible for our crew, as well as for me and my co-director Cassidy as we were doing our injections and taking our needles. Really, our whole production had to be scheduled around not only Cassidy's weekly Friday dose of testosterone, but also a very specific set of circumstances that were surrounding truly the timing of like my period, as well as when doctors were available to do the procedure for us. For me to be able to do the work of a director while also being the subject and taking care of my specific health needs, it truly did require a lot of balance to figure out what our priorities were and remember that we were keeping my health a priority as a person and also as the subject of the documentary. Now that I've had the practice of running a crew where we were setting up compassionate scheduling, now that I know what incentives make compassionate scheduling a bit easier for people to wrap their heads around, the more I can see a future where women or trans people or queer people are able to do treatments such as fertility treatments or gender affirming surgeries and not have to worry that that will mean that they're losing out on a job. I think that film can sometimes be an industry that gets really caught in industry standards or the idea of how things are always done. But really, I think doing this production really allowed me to see that there's so many more ways we can approach filming. Working with Balancing Act and understanding the approach that Balancing Act takes to the film industry has really helped me consider how I want to make my productions more inclusive for other people. I think that if we keep focusing on the people who work on the movies, our projects will be even stronger because the people making them will feel cared for and able to do their jobs even better.